The first Ghost from the Past set was a pretty big train wreck after initially being one of the most hyped sets of the year. And now we have a new Ghost from the Past that's going to release in early 2022, and Konami has already made a few changes. In today's video, I wanted to talk about why Ghost from the Past 1 was such a big failure, and then I want to talk about some of the changes that they should make with Ghost from the Past 2 to make sure that it goes over better with the community. Now, it's been a while since April 2021, but when Ghost from the Past was released, there were three major complaints that I saw in my own comment section. The set was too expensive, the set didn't have enough ghost rares for being called Ghost from the Past, and the other cards in the set, the non-ghost rares, weren't good enough. And I think at the time I said that I agreed with 1.5 of those three complaints. Now though, I agree with 2 of them fully when I look back. One of the biggest complaints was the price. Everyone said there wasn't enough in there to be worth $25 or $30 per little 3-pack box, and that was absolutely true. However, I disagreed with the complaint because the MSRP of the original Ghost from the Past was not $25 or $30. It was in fact only $15. So a lot of people didn't realize this. I think there are still people nowadays that don't know this, but yeah, Ghost from the Past was never supposed to be sold for $25 or $30. The MSRP was supposed to be $14.99, which isn't the worst price for 3 5-card packs, but it's still not the best. But I think the important part here is that this set was never going to live up to $25 to $30 per little 3-pack box because it wasn't really supposed to. That kind of happened, and I am a little bit fuzzy on the timeline here because it's been a while, but I remember that the set wasn't selling for too much higher than MSRP until there was a fake leak that said that there was going to be a ghost rare Dark Magician Girl in the set, and then ever since then the price skyrocketed, even past the point when we figured out that that wasn't going to be in the set after all. And I think that it's really never come down from that price. This set is still very expensive sealed, and it's pretty much impossible to make your money back if you open this product. The second complaint was about not enough ghost rares, and I think that this was very valid. I said that even back when the set came out. The set is called Ghost from the Past, but you only pulled like 1 ghost rare per 50 boxes, which was 1 ghost rare per case. Now there were only 5 ghost rares, and some of them were better than others. You could buy an entire case and only pull a $100 Firewall Dragon, which is pretty disappointing. That's a pretty stark contrast from pulling a ghost rare Dark Magician that goes for hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. So I think that was a very valid complaint. The final complaint was about the other cards in the set. Now at the time, I remember half agreeing with this because there's a lot to unpack with the non-ghost rares in the set. People were pissed about the Dragoonity structure deck cards from the OCG being imported into the TCG in Ghost from the Past instead of being released in a structure deck, and I do agree with what people were saying about that. There were also a lot of complaints from people saying that the only good reprint in the set was Evenly Matched, and I remember at the time saying that while Evenly Matched was the only meta-relevant reprint, there were plenty of other pretty good reprints that I don't think people realized. For example, Cosmo Tin Can and Cosmojo were very expensive before Ghost from the Past, but Konami reprinted them in that set. Now Cosmos were not a very relevant deck, they're still not a very relevant deck, but those reprints were pretty good. They made that deck a lot more budget friendly. And there were a few others like that too. Ojama Country, for example, before Ghost from the Past was only printed 1 time as a rare, and that rare was like $10 to $15, but the reprint in Ghost from the Past made it a lot more budget friendly, and they gave it a rarity upgrade. But now that we're several months past the original release date of Ghost from the Past 1, I will say that I think I have changed my mind about this. I think those cards could have been included in like OTS packs or perhaps Brothers of Legend or Maximum Gold. There were a bunch of reprint sets in 2021, and I think that those cards could have been put in there to make way for better reprints in Ghost from the Past. Obviously, people were always going to have to buy a lot of boxes of this set to try and pull the ghost rares. Konami might as well have made the reprints in there worth opening while you were trying to dig for those very expensive ghost rare pulls. These days, we're at a point where if you tried to buy a case of Ghost from the Past to pull a ghost rare, even if you pulled the best ghost rare, Dark Magician, you would still have a pretty hard time making your money back. There aren't really that many good non-Ghost Rare pulls in the set. Evenly Matched is the only card worth more than $10. E-Telly is the second most expensive non-Ghost Rare card in the set. It's around $8 right now, but everything else is pretty much $5 or less, with most of the cards being around $1 a piece. Now, I think that $1 a piece makes sense because looking at the original MSRP, you pull 15 cards and the set was supposed to be $15 for those 15 cards, so $1 a card does make sense. But with sealed boxes of Ghosts from the Past selling for still, even to this day, around $27, it's pretty hard making your money back on this set, other than if you bought like one box of Ghosts from the Past and just happened to pull a Ghost Rare. But then, a few weeks ago, on November 1st, Konami revealed some information about Ghosts from the Past 2, which prior to that announcement, we didn't even know if it was going to happen. I mean, people thought it would, but we didn't have any confirmation until November 1st. And that announcement got people pretty angry, specifically about some of the language that they used when talking about the original Ghosts from the Past. Let's take a look at what that announcement said. The second Ghosts from the Past set is releasing in April of 2022 and is the follow-up to last spring's phenomenon, Ghosts from the Past. It's got more of everything that made Ghosts from the Past a smash hit, including even more Ghost Rares. It's not just the roster of Ghost Rares that's expanded either, the drop rate has 2, so it's twice as easy to pull a Ghost Rare this time around. On top of that, each box of the next Ghosts from the Past set has 4 packs instead of 3, giving you even more cards per box. 2022's version of Ghosts from the Past is another all-foil set, and each 5-card pack comes with 5 Ultra Rares, one of which could be replaced by a Ghost Rare. Each box of the upcoming Ghosts from the Past set comes with 4 packs for a total of 20 cards per box. So this announcement was pretty controversial at the time. I remember when this got revealed, and people weren't really sure what to make of it. On one hand, people were pretty excited that Ghost Rare drop rates were increased because a lot of people complained about that with the first round of Ghosts from the Past. On the other hand, though, with Konami talking about the original Ghosts from the Past being a phenomenon, people felt like they weren't really acknowledging that the set had a ton of issues. Because let's be real here, a fake leak was one of the things that skyrocketed the price of Ghosts from the Past and made a lot of people pre-order the set. But then when the set dropped, people realized that there weren't really that many good non-Ghost Rare cards in there, and suddenly people got very angry. So I think it's a little weird that they called it a phenomenon in this reveal post. But I do think that increasing the drop rate of Ghost Rares is a huge step in the right direction. By doubling the amount of Ghost Rare pull rates, but also increasing the amount of individual Ghost Rares, Konami creates a situation where individual Ghost Rare cards are still pretty hard to pull, but people can be happy because they'll pull more Ghost Rares more often. I think this is a really good compromise because I know some people wanted it to be like Gold Series Haunted Mine way back in the day when we had a Ghost Rare in every pack, but personally I think that Ghost Rares should be something a bit more special. So I like this compromise because people are going to pull Ghost Rares a lot more often, but the individual Ghost Rares are still going to be very collectible because pulling one specific Ghost Rare is still going to be pretty tough. And as crazy as it sounds, I also kind of like that they added one extra pack to each box while increasing the price by $5 overall. That might not sound like it matters, but if this product gets hyped to $25 or $30 per box, suddenly you have more value in those individual boxes because there's an extra pack. It looks like at the moment though, because of last year's disaster, these boxes haven't quite skyrocketed to the same price as the pre-sales on the original Ghosts from the Past, and I think that's smart because at the moment we don't know a lot about the set. Now I will mention here at the very end, because this is currently technically unconfirmed, apparently there was a leak with some of the box artwork and pack artwork from Ghosts from the Past 2022, and if these are true, it could mean a lot for this set. If you remember, with the original Ghosts from the Past, the box artwork and the pack artwork showed the Ghost Rares featured in the set. So that would mean that if this one is following the same pattern, these would be some or maybe all of the Ghost Rares. Now at this point, like I said, the artwork is unconfirmed, but if these pictures are true, the Ghost Rares in this set are absolutely incredible. From this picture, we can see Dark Arm Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, Cyber Dragon, and Red Dragon Archfiend. I think all of those choices, except maybe Red Dragon Archfiend, are very good, but honestly, I think that Red Dragon Archfiend is not a bad choice, considering it would look pretty nice alongside a Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon from way back in the day. One thing I find pretty funny about these, if they end up being true, is that Konami decided to make a Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl after seeing how much the fake leak of that Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl in the last year's set influenced the hype for that set. So this time around, they're going, if these are real, okay, we are actually going to put Dark Magician Girl in this set as a Ghost Rare because people were so excited about the fake leak from the previous release. And I think that is a pretty funny situation. But I think if there's one thing that I hope Konami learned from the original Ghosts from the Past, it's that it's not only about the Ghost Rares. While those are big additions to the set, a lot of boxes aren't going to have Ghost Rares in them. In fact, the majority of boxes won't. And that means that the base ultra rare cards, the cards people are going to be pulling over and over again, those cards have to actually be good. I hope Konami puts a lot of meta relevant reprints in this set, because that was the main problem with the previous year, in my opinion, especially looking back. It wasn't about the Ghost Rares being hard to pull, it wasn't even about the set being so hyped and the MSRP getting completely ignored. It was mainly about that each pack you opened felt like you were never making your money back unless you pulled a Ghost Rare. I think Konami could change that by putting in a bunch of good reprints, and I really hope they have learned their lesson from the previous year. But in that regard, it's like, well, maybe they didn't. Apparently, going off of the words that they used in their announcement of Ghosts in the Past 2, they thought that Ghosts in the Past 1 was a smash hit, and personally, I don't really agree with that. Maybe from the pre-sales and maybe from the amount of people buying boxes, it was a hit, but in terms of the player experience once the set was released, I don't think players would really refer to it as a smash hit. So I hope that Konami actually sees that Ghosts in the Past 1 did have issues, and I really hope they make the right changes with Ghosts in the Past 2. Ghosts in the Past 2022 has the potential to be a hugely popular set that makes up for all of the mistakes of Ghosts in the Past 1. Or maybe it'll just be another train wreck. At this point, it's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ghosts in the Past 2. What changes do you hope Konami makes going forward? I'll see you later. Goodbye.